Okay, so hi everybody, this is T. Falcon Napier. Welcome to Building a Career That Matters. We're continuing our discussion on what can you do to deal with long-term disruption. How do you go about redefining your business, rebuilding a business from scratch, expanding your offerings to kind of thrive in a very disrupted kind of world. And we're a few calls into the series already. Those are all up on YouTube. If you'd like to go to our YouTube channel, you can certainly get to those. But today we're going to kind of finish off at the last little point we had on on-demand training, and then we're going to get into putting this all together into an actual duplicatable system that all of you guys can begin to consider how it might fit for you. So last time we were talking about on-demand training, so that you would need a website, you need some sort of a platform to do that on. We've chosen LearnDash for our learning platform because of its quiz capabilities and its abilities to award certificates and keep good attendance and all those sorts of things that are expected of you if you're going to be offering coursework for continuing education credits. Then you have to build your courses. While that looks like it's one word, it's probably the big part of the puzzle. In fact, I think one moment. Um, I think that we don't want to underestimate the amount of time and energy it takes to map out a curriculum, even design out a single lesson plan, and then turn that lesson plan into something watchable and figure out what are the handouts to go along with it, et cetera. So I don't want to minimize it. There's a lot of work to be done as far as course development is concerned. And that, by the way, is one of the biggest downsides of the whole thing. Now, I wanted to come back to the subject of pricing for just a moment because Linda and I were just looking around on YouTube, and there are countless people that have lots of videos up giving you insights and instruction on how to create a online learning-based business. And they all seem to have something to sell. And so it's just, there's just a lot you have to dig through. Well, we found this one, and Linda, do you happen to have it handy what the name of his channel is?
Shane something Lau, Laugh. I'll
All
look
right,
it up
well,
while
you
you're
look it up
talking.
and then chat it over to everybody.
I will. I
So
will.
this guy, I'll tell you, he might have something to sell, but he never talks about it. But he is the most clear, concise, organized instructor I've encountered online so far. And so he's out of Switzerland, I think, and his original business was he created some sort of a design theme for a WordPress website, and that's where he basically, started his business. But one of the things he said, and pardon me, but I've got a non-COVID frog in my throat. Um, anyway, he has a video up about how you go about pricing training programs. And I think it was very interesting
First of
what
all, I didn't log.
what he shared with us on that. And so let me just give you the highlights of what he basically said. He said that as the price of your program goes up, the expectations of your audience also go up. So the more expensive your program is, the more they are going to expect in terms of support, in terms of quality in production, so production values, the quality of the video, all those sorts of things. So there's a lot more work involved in creating the kinds of programs that high ticket courses would require. At the other end of the spectrum, you've got really inexpensive sorts of learning programs that can be very short, one session, and for $29, people are more than happy to toss you $29, and it's something you basically did on your iPhone. They're perfectly content with all that. So he has this little discussion where he says, if we compare what the work is involved in delivering your program or creating your programs to the amount that you're getting and where's the price sweet point, blah, 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 cut it to the chase. The ideal spot is a $200 program. Now you would probably price it at $199 or $197 because of the psychology of pricing, but $200 is pretty much where people would be willing to accept the kinds of production values that you could create as a solo entrepreneur, doing your own production, your own editing, your own recording, your own whatever the case may be. When a program price starts to go above $200, now you need to start hiring professional editors and adding in a lot more stuff that increases the cost of producing that video, slows down the production time, and simultaneously reduces the audience size for what you're really looking for. And I thought that was absolutely, as valuable can be. So his whole point was keep your courses below $200. Now, at the same time, he says, if you have a course that is long and full and robust and all that, you need to break it into multiple $200 courses for people to complete it. I need to get some water while I'm doing that. If you guys look at your chat window, Linda just chatted over to all of you that YouTube channel. So I would very much encourage you guys to just click on that real quick and bookmark it or whatever you do on your computer, just so you can get back to this guy. One moment, please.
So what I'll tell you is that is the exact video that T is talking about right now about pricing. But if you look at all the videos, he's got, I don't know, over 100 videos on different topics. And he's just a very clear trainer.
Yeah, yeah, he really is. So anywho, so I just want you to kind of think about when it comes to the pricing, it seems that anything at $200 or less is something that we could all manage as solopreneurs. But if we want to get more than that for a course, well, then we need to anticipate needing to bring in others to give us those production values that we want. Now, the other video that we watched of his we found particularly interesting was getting very clear. And we did this at the very beginning of our own series, saying what exactly you're trying to create from a monetary perspective. How much do you want? And I think he uses in one of his videos this figure of $10,000. You want to create $10,000 worth of revenue. So, pardon me. If you have a $5 membership and you want to make $10,000, then you need to have 2,000 members. Yeah. And he said, well, in order to get 2,000 members, you're going to need to have something like, do you remember there was like 200,000 leads or 200,000 exposures?
Right,
Whatever. It was
right.
something absurd. And he was talking about the amount of work of getting all those exposures to get that $10,000 needs to be compared with, let's say that you had a $10 level. Now you only need 1,000. And if someone's willing to give you $5, what's the likelihood they'd be just as willing to give you $10? And so he talks about all the different psychology and his own studies to show the metrics to all of this sort of a thing. And so bottom line, he came up with this ideal expectation for a membership site to be at most $50 per month if you want it to be something that people are likely to stick with for a period of time to come. And he has a lot of caveats around it or whatever. So anyway, I know I'm babbling. We'll get to all this again when we talk about the duplicatable system. But I just want you to know there's a lot of stuff online that we've put our energy into researching, hopefully to save you guys some of the work yourself to do that. So pricing, keep everything below $200, and you're good to know. On the membership side of things, which was the slide beforehand, the pricing is based on what you're providing at each one of the tiers. So can you go above that $50 mark? The answer is absolutely yes, but you're going to have to be providing a very strong community experience in order to get that, or you're going to have to be a software kind of a company. So yeah. Lynn, anything else that you've been learning from him that you wanted to throw into this discussion?
That that chart that you were just talking about he takes a line and takes it right from a lower corner at $50 all the way up to the higher prices, a big curve going up, and he explains very clearly again the pricing structure. So that might be a really interesting one to
Yeah,
watch because it's very hard to explain, but he does an amazing job.
he really does. So we would encourage you to check out his videos. Anywho, the bottom line is that you're going to have to do that. And that's why he said that the downside of a membership community is that you have to put a lot of energy into making sure that every month there's more and more and more value that you are adding to it. We're comparing that to doing online programs. By the way, he's a much bigger advocate of doing online programs than he is about having membership organizations. But programming, you just need to produce a really good program at the price point you're expecting. Make sure it's a program that people want to learn. And he talks a lot about how you test topics. By the way, I think that he goes into this with the assumption that he doesn't really have a program yet. He'll just produce whatever program anybody wants. All of us already have content. And so the most logical thing for us to do is to begin with what we already have. And so let's get our content put together in whatever format we can most easily leverage for other people to tap into and benefit from. Okay, anyway,
But I
yeah.
think what he does, though, from what it sounds like, is similar to what the startup companies do,
Hmm.
and they do customer development in that they contact like a beta group of some sort and
Yes, yes.
survey them and ask them what do they want. And the mantra that they often use is find out what people want and then build what they want, like give them
That's
what they want.
exactly what his model is. But again, he's talking to an audience of people who want to start an online learning business from scratch. So when I think
Okay.
about all of us, we're not starting from scratch. We've all been educators for a very long time. We already have courses that are developed to whatever degree, they needed to be developed for the deployments we were using. So I think we're in a different category. And
Yeah.
while he may not be all that pro membership organizations for the reasons he talked about earlier, in our particular case, we're good for a membership organization as well. And you guys are too, because we have a piece of software that people want to be able to use on an ongoing basis. We do have a strong community that we want people to be able to tap into and benefit from. And I like doing calls. So we're okay with all that, where he would say others may be better off just writing a little program. Now, oh, I don't know what's going on with me. Um, I'm reminded of when I was first thinking about writing a book, and this is years and years and years ago. Um, I got to go to one of these little weekend writers seminars kind of things, and it was talking about nonfiction writers. Nonfiction writers are the kind of people who are more than capable of writing a book on any subject because they can just go and research and compile it. So, a book on how to build a birdhouse, a book on how to cook, whatever the case may be, anything that's procedural or whatever, or historical, a nonfiction writer can do that. They do the research, they write it up, they've got a book done. They don't really care what the subject matter is, because they're just going to go out and research it based on what the demand for the subject happens to be. Um, and so I think that's very similar to what we're talking about with these online learning programs. But that's different. Again, we have our subjects already. We have what we're doing. We want to find a way to leverage that into our next, version of ourselves. Um,
Yeah.
Now, one thing he did talk about, and we're very much experiencing this right now, is that um, why certain things lend themselves very nicely to membership programs. And usually we're just talking about our membership, like you guys know how our community all operates, but they're talking about software subscription services are forms of a membership organization.
Hmm.
And so that's why so many companies like Word, or rather like Microsoft and like Adobe, have moved to a monthly or annual subscription model to get to their software. Now, for them, it works because they know next year you're going to want to still be able to use all those documents and use all that software. And yeah, you could buy the software outright, but that's not a smart financial decision. So they know they got you. I'm so sorry. I have to edit that out. Um, and then there's also services that people have put up online, and like we've been talking recently about Infusionsoft versus Groove, and they talk about the cost of change, that once you get highly invested in any kind of an online service software, whether you're using constant contact or whatever it may be, other options are going to come out that you could switch to. But then you go, can I move my whole database? Can I move everything I've already created? Do I have to rebuild everything from scratch? And so you find out very quickly that the pain of moving is greater than the pain of staying with whatever it happens to be. So as you listen to some of these people talk about building these kinds of service membership organizations, they will talk very heavily about how important it is that you make the pain of leaving as excruciating as possible. Because once you've achieved that, you can start to increase your price, and people will continue to pay higher and higher annual or monthly fees, because the pain of change is greater than the pain of payment.
Hmm.
So kind of feels like a whole, if you're a drug dealer, that feels like the model a little bit. Did I say that out loud? All right. So anywho, yeah. So on-demand training, again, the downside is really the amount of time it takes to build them all up. Now, the last thing we were going to talk about is this idea that you can also make money by physical products. So you need a website to be able to do that. You need to have some sort of platform to deliver your products, and obviously you need some products. And so if you guys wanted to, you could say, well, you know what I really have always wanted to do? I want to publish some kind of like a, a, a meditation program where people can journal about their meditation, or you want to put together field guides or some kind of a book or some sort of a product that I don't know, emits certain colors of light, or you don't get the idea. There's all kinds of products you could be creating. The challenge there, of course, is about fulfillment and how you're going to price these things. So you'd have to sign up with a platform um, like Printful. If you guys want to sell t-shirts and coffee cups and things like that, Printful is a good place to go for those things. Amazon also has a platform available for people who've got their own stuff they want to sell, and do all that. I'm not a big one for physical products, and that's why for me the question is, where do whatever physical products you already have or you have in mind fit in with what it is you'd like to do? And so, for example, years and years ago, we created this little pocket reference guide. It's the size of a business card, but it's thick. And when you open it up, it is an 11 by 17 sheet of paper that has all of the change works diagrams on it with quick reference guides on both sides of it. And then you move it another way and it collapses right back into something that's the size of a business card. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. It's a very cool thing. Um, we, of course, had to make them by hand because we didn't have the volume of necessary to mass produce them. And so, we made a bunch of them and gave them away, and that was all fine and dandy. Could I have sold it? Yeah. How much could I have sold it for? I don't know, a few dollars. It probably cost me more than that to make the thing. And so what we did was, when people came into town for some of our live retreats, we would try to always give them some little fun thing that we made. And so when I think of physical products, I think of them more as like bonus gifts for the people that are members of your organization, or that are signing up for your programs, or whatever the case may be, as opposed to try to make it a source of income in and of itself. I understand that some people have made a lot of money off of books, but most people in our industry who have a book use it primarily for marketing purposes. Okay, any thoughts about physical products you'd like to throw in there, out there?
Yeah, I'm wondering, would the something like what do you call the affiliate marketing relationship with something like that would work? Because then you don't have to create your own product. For instance, like you talking
Yeah,
about the journals, like I
right.
purchased um, it's called Best Self Journal,
Yep.
and they have an affiliate program. So if I wanted to offer that to a client of some sort, I can get an affiliate
Absolutely.
mission of
Yeah.
some sort for offering that.
Absolutely. And there are usually those kinds of affiliate programs available. Certainly Amazon will be more than happy to let anyone become an affiliate. And if you got a book that they offer and anybody's book, they're more than happy to toss you a little bit for making that sale happen. There's always affiliate programs, it seems, with any of these software sorts of companies or these online service sorts of companies. There's always that. So it's not a mistake to sign up as an affiliate for those sorts of programs. One thing we learned is that in the world of Amazon in particular, there are people who find products that are not sold directly by the manufacturer, and then they become an affiliate for that company, and then they start to create Amazon ads and all that for that specific product. And if the product gets sold through their little click, they make whatever money they wanted to make. In fact, I told you about my little camera device, sort of a thing. Well, if you were to go to Amazon and just look up those kinds of ear camera, you will find literally dozens upon dozens upon dozens of different ones available that are physically identical in every way, that are all priced at the same price or very a few pennies apart from one another. They all use fundamentally the same kind of copy, and because they're cutting and pasting it, so they all have the exact same spelling mistakes that are in them, but they're all being provided by different vendors. And so you go like, how does that work? Where did that come from? Well, it's exactly what Brian was just describing. You can not only become an affiliate, but you can actually go out there and tap into a massive catalog of products that are manufactured all over the world, but they rely upon people to distribute them who want to create their own kind of Amazon sales shops. So you can certainly do that. And, some obviously do quite well around that sort of thing. Okay, other questions, comments? David, I see you've unmuted.
One comment. I did check out Groove, and they have an affiliate program. They're very aggressive about it.
Uh-huh. Yep. You'll find, in fact, let's see, is Pam on the call as well? Yep. I think that because Groove was at their kickoff kind of level, I will tell you that their affiliate program is one of the most generous affiliate programs I've ever seen. And so getting people to sign up for what their initial, I think, was it platinum or whatever. Pam, feel free to unmute, or Linda, if you can kind of chime in.
Yeah,
But
that they did was they have an affiliate program that, like T said, is very generous. And so a lot of people who are actually selling, they have businesses where they have clients that they create sites for. They tell them about Groove, and then other people tell it. So that's how it has grown so quickly, is through people being affiliates.
yeah. And you'll find if you go to YouTube and start researching videos about Groove, you'll have the same experience David has just described. You wonder, do these people actually use Groove for their own business, or are they doing reviews of Groove and highlights, kind of introductory sorts of videos about Groove purely because they're hoping you'll click on their affiliate link? And the answer is, for a lot of them, that's exactly what's really going on. So it's very interesting because I have a philosophical issue around that. On the one hand, I think Groove is a very, very good product that has a very, very bright future because it is so complete, it is so robust, it is very well supported, all that sort of stuff. So I wonder, why are they pitching it as aggressively as they are?
The
So
founders of that Groove, I'm familiar with those names because those guys are quintessential online marketing gurus. So
mm,
that's just the way they know how to function.
Yeah, it has that tone, a couple of them. But then if you can talk to the technical people or you watch the videos of the technical people, pardon me, they're really good. And so it's a very strange kind of a feeling. On the one hand, you feel like it's being pitched and pitched hard. And on the other hand, it's a good product. And I'm always left wondering, why does a really good product need to be pitched so hard?
Yeah,
So,
they're doing what we talked about on previous calls about doing things the way everyone else do it.
yeah,
So that's exactly what they're doing. Instead of just focusing on creating demand, like be different and create demand, more
right.
people will come, I think, instead of doing it that way, because that kind of stuff turns me off.
Yeah,
Like, I,
me as well. And sometimes I do have to make sure that I go, all right, come on, I'm an expert in the field of tension management. I understand exactly how this technique is working. So let me kind of turn all that off so I can see what's essential in their offering and then make my decision based on what's essential there. That's why we're more than happy to give you guys a link to Groove to check out because it has merit. Just
Plus
yeah,
because I know it is getting pitched.
it's there's so much of it right now that's free that you
Yeah,
can sign up for it for free, take advantage of all their training. Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah.
start building something out. You get Groove Sell, which is the shopping cart. You'll get the membership site. You get the building of the pages. You get the training. And
right.
um, then if you say, you know what, I really do like this, I think I would like to get a little bit more, you
Yeah,
know, but
and
it's really
that's your
kind of, it's really, they give you so much that a beginner could really just stick with the free one for
yeah,
quite a while.
they
Yeah.
really could. They really could. So again, it's worth looking at, but as David pointed out, you just got to be ready for this. I don't want to be stereotypical, but when you hear the guy pitch it, you'll go like, "Oh, this is like right out of a movie." So this is so stereotypical. But yeah, there you go. Okay,
Yeah.
we digress. Uh, yeah. So physical products, wherever you want to fit them in. I think they fit in nicely as gifts or bonuses or something like that, as opposed to trying to turn them into some sort of a profit center for you. And I will tell you, fulfillment is a major pain. So the
Mhm.
cost of shipping these days and things like that, you just have to go, is this really worth it? Am I really going to make any money by the time all is said and done? So there you go. Okay. So, um, what I want you guys to be doing next, as you think about this, is go, all right, do I have an opportunity to create a membership business? Do I have an opportunity to create an online training business? Or do I have an opportunity to create a blend of those? Because obviously, this is the direction we're encouraging you to move in. Either create a membership business if that makes sense for what you do and how you like to do it, or create an online learning business if that's what you do and that's what works for you, or maybe you could do a bit of a blend. And so right now, does anyone have any feeling about what direction you think, based on what your business has accomplished so far, you might lean towards creating a following, getting your programs deployed, where in between, where would you guys say you are? They've
I would
all
say it's getting the programs deployed as well as marketing, at the same time.
Yeah, and so David, more like the online learning sorts of
Yep,
opportunities,
yep.
and then marketing them. Yeah, and so for
I have
David,
little laminated cards that I've created, which are kind of unique for the different training programs that make a really nice add-on. So I want to
mhm,
take advantage of that.
yeah, and it'd be great to again figure out where do those fit in, standalone products, et cetera. We'll talk about those kind of bonuses as well. And so, all right, so I see a lot of you have unmuted, so go ahead, chime in.
T, this is Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Hi. So I'm doing a blend. And of course, you and I have talked quite a bit about this and the structure of it, but I'm doing a high dollar membership program with what's called the Revenue Roundtable. And
Hmm.
then I'm doing separately online programs that my members can buy at a discount, but I'll also be selling to non-members.
Yep.
So it's a little bit, and I've also written a book, and I'm in the process of writing a second one. And in those, I'm using them as either marketing opportunities or bonuses.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, one question we're going to get to by the time we're finished with this series is the marketing piece of things. And so, because Patty's just shared having a hybrid sort of a business, I'm going to go ahead and throw the question out now, even though it isn't on the schedule for another week. But the question is, are you going to market each of those possibilities separately? So marketing the round table versus marketing the programs independently of one another. So two different marketing things. Or you're going to say, no, one is going to be my primary marketing emphasis. And the other one is kind of a like, if they don't qualify for that or want that one, hey, I've got this as a side sort of a thing. So what do you think it's going to be, Patty? Marketing them both separately, independently, or one leads to the other?
I think I see it in a stepwise pattern. So in 2021, it's going to be focused on the revenue roundtable. And if people don't qualify or decide it's not the right fit for them, I have the programs available and they can take advantage of those.
Yep.
In future years, my intention is to have multiple roundtables, at which time I'll no longer be accepting. I mean, there's only so many roundtables I can do.
Sure.
And I think it's going to shake out by the number of years in business. And the first one is 2 to 10 years in business, but I've been talking to more and more people who want, if you've been in business 10 years or more, they want a roundtable for them.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm headed. And in future years, I will probably be marketing both and do them separately, do revenue roundtable and do programs. And I will still offer private consulting.
Sure. Okay, there you go. And so that's even a third option, because this is one of the things we're going to have to get to when we start talking about marketing. How you market a membership organization and how you market a course are very different things. And if you have multiple courses, well, each one of them might benefit from being marketed absolutely separately. And so at a certain point, you guys have to get back to your initial goal. How much money are you trying to create for yourselves? Because you don't want to have so much of your time consumed with creating material that you don't have time to market it. And you certainly don't want to spend so much time marketing it that you don't have time to do any ongoing development. So where is this sweet spot between just the right amount of marketing brings me just the right amount of opportunity to meet my financial goal and not consume every hour of my day? So yeah, so that's something we'll get to in grand detail. Now for the member, okay, we still have other people unmuted. So Jane, did you want to throw something in? Brian? Okay.
I'm looking at software, something in healthcare, but it will also have a consultancy part. I like what Buckminster Fuller says. If you want to change a person, don't bother teaching them, build a tool through which the use of it changes their habits. That's kind of how I look at things, particularly from a behavioral health perspective. So I'm looking at that kind of format.
And so would this software be kind of like an app sort of a thing that people would interact with, or would it be something that they were using for running a business or running a practice?
Something for the physicians to help them in their relationship with the patients themselves. So in other words, help them do their job a little bit better and be able to communicate effectively. So like I was just talking with Jane yesterday, and like there's a lot of telehealth companies that went IPO now in the pandemic, but it still doesn't address the quality issue.
Well, right.
So it's all about the access, but not quality.
Yeah, because when did the doctor go through a training program on how to present themselves on camera and do even conduct such a thing? And so would this be like a subscription software model, you're thinking they'd be paying a monthly or an annual fee for access to it, or is it a one-time purchase?
No, it'll be a subscription.
All right.
So
then it's a membership, or
typically, right.
it falls into the category of membership then.
Right.
Okay, good. All right. Pardon me. Don't know what's going on. But I will make it till the end of the year, I promise. So what I wanted to do was talk to you guys about membership tiers. And I'm going to show you what we've put together and show you how you might want to think. But these are the things to consider as you think about how to create the tiers for your membership organization. Now, again, if you're only going to have one membership tier, so they're either a member or they're not, then you don't need to be building a membership organization. You don't need to be worrying about Groove member, or we're going to start off with Member Press because of the way it easily integrates in with our website and all that. So you know, you don't need that. If you've only got one tier, one kind of member, that's just a very straightforward product purchase. But if you want to have multiple tiers and then you're going to need to have some sort of a platform that's going to do that for you. There are many out there. And if you guys want me to share with you a few, I'll be happy to do that. But long story short, we decided to go with MemberPress in the short run and perhaps move everything over to Groove in the long run, purely for the financial side of things. What did I just do? But one of the things you have to come up with are, what are your tiers? What benefits are you going to offer and all that? And this goes back to the very first piece of homework I gave you guys, to do a complete inventory of all of your intellectual property, because now we go like, where do all these things fit into these tiers? So some of the things that we've learned as we've been building this out is that, number one, you need to have a free tier. Now, not just a free tier, but a tier that does not require anyone to provide you with any personal information other than their name and their email address. They can even make up a totally fake name. You just need to have an email address so that you can deliver what it is you've said they get as being a free member. You can, communicate with them. But you want to make sure that you have some level of access, that's all they have to provide. Now, historically, that has also been accomplished by letting people request a white paper. So, just give us your name and your email address and we'll send you whatever document. So that kind of thing's been around for a while, but we want to make it a little bit more of a generous kind of an opportunity. And so by making it a free tier, I can say not only do they get X for free, but they get on an ongoing basis Y for free and Z for free and whatever it is. But they don't need to give us any real information. Certainly, they don't need to give us any financial information. So how many of you guys have ever been offered some sort of like a free trial, but they immediately want to know your credit card information? And you go no further. It's like, I'm not going to give you my credit card information if this is a free sort of a thing. And so we want to make sure that you guys know, create a tier that does not have that barrier, and that is going to affect the platform that you choose, because some platforms you may use, even Infusionsoft, if you're not thoughtful about how you set it all up, you may very well say, well, I'll just create it as a product. But if you create it as a product, the moment it's a product, they're going to ask for credit card information, even if the price is zero. On the other hand, if you say, well, no, they're just subscribing to my mailing list, well, that's a different engine that doesn't require any kind of financial information to be provided. So just be thoughtful around that. And then, you're going to have a bunch of paid tiers. Often you'll see 3 tiers seems to be the default. But you can have as many tiers as you want. These platforms usually don't put a limit on the number of tiers that you can have. And then you want to go like, well, inside of these membership tiers, what am I including? Are there training courses? Are those training courses included? Or do I at least include a discount coupon that they can then go and add that training course to what's going on? Are there certain services that people are receiving that are included? Or again, we might give them something as a bit of an add-on with a discount. Are there products that are included versus add-ons? So you get the idea. We've been talking about this. So training courses, services, and products. So I thought it would be very useful for us to share with you the tiers that we've created, and then you guys can kind of pick and choose from this whatever you want. So to do that, you would need to go to our website. I'm going to slide that into my screen if it'll let me. Come on over here. Oh, I know. I have to exit out of that. Now will it let me? What the heck is happening? Who am I? Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. You may chat amongst yourselves while I solve world hunger. Okay, now will you let me move it over there? Oh, technology. They say it's our friend. Okay, so if you were to go to our ChangeWorks website, by the way, right now I'm up in WordPress, and so you can kind of see behind the scenes. But this is our new website. And this particular section where we talk about the tiers is in Join Our Community. And so if you click on Join Our Community, up come our tiers. Now we created 2 different sets of tiers. One for consumer level customers, and the other one for professional level people. So you'll see we have our memberships for curious people, clients, and individual students. So we have our 4 little tiers. I'm going to go through them. The first tier is the Explorer tier, and it is absolutely free. The system does not ask anyone for any kind of financial information or anything like that. So this is what the Explorer level gets. So they get to, and you can, yeah, obviously you can write copy however you want, but this is what we have at this point. So they get to explore their perceptions and how those perceptions impact your attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors through unlimited access to a wide and growing library of ChangeWorks profiles you can use to better understand your readiness for and response to critical activities in various areas of your life. So what we've done is we've put together uh, a basic set of ChangeWorks profiles that anybody can click on the link, anybody can fill them out. The system will automatically now send them their results, and then they can watch a video that gives them the interpretation of what that change grid might be saying to them. And so all those videos are up behind the Explorer section. They're actually up on YouTube, but they can access them when they click on the resources available here. You can learn even more about yourself each and every month by completing the change grid of the month. So obviously that library of ChangeWorks profiles will continue to grow. And so every month we'll be able to send our explorers an email saying the new change grid of the month is available. And so that they can fill it all out, they do the results, etc. They can understand their change grid results by participating in our live weekly Oracle of the Self group coaching sessions. And they can access the recordings of those sessions anytime they want for free. And again, all of this right now, this is all free, 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 free. We'll also give them access to descriptions of the full catalog of the YouTube videos and playlists. So they have that as a bit of an understanding about what else they can look into. We'll send them a little early bird notification whenever a new video is posted, and they can get a 25% discount on a private ChangeGrid reading with me. Now, I'll just ask you guys right now, does that feel like enough value that you might be willing to sign up for something absolutely free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what's it costing me to do this? I'm doing a weekly Oracle of the Self group coaching session that I can leverage. And by the way, that gives me an opportunity to talk to the people that are on that Oracle, the self group coaching session, about other opportunities that are available to them. Like, for example, I think they should all be working with a ChangeWorks coach. So it's great that they can get the readings that these little videos include, but that's nowhere near as complete, robust, tailored as having that same change grid read by one of you guys. And so one of the things that I was going to add here, but I have to do it with your guys' permission, is say that they can receive a discount on having their grids read by one of you. And then they could click and see the whole list of all the people that are licensed as ChangeWorks pros to be able to do this sort of a thing.
25% discount with you. They should get a 50% discount from us.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, that, you know, that could be fine. Or I don't mind removing this about me whatsoever, because ultimately, as we get to the professional tiers, you'll see that our real goal is to support the professionals. Honestly, I don't want to be reading an individual explorer's change grid for whatever I would charge them for that. I would much rather spend my time talking to professional coaches and trainers and consultants, because I'm more interested in the professional level tiers being developed out than I am about the consumer level tiers. Nevertheless, these consumer level tiers could be all that it takes for us to meet our personal financial objectives. And again, this is why I'm going through this in detail with you guys, because I want you to think about how might you map out your own membership organization so that you can get the amount of revenue you're looking for with as little work as possible, leveraging what you've already done to whatever degree you can, etc. Pardon me, sorry. So now we would love it if our explorers would decide to upgrade to the seeker level. Now, a good membership platform, and that's why you need a platform if you're going to have more than one tier, is if someone wants to upgrade, you want them to be able to click on upgrade, and have it all handled automatically. And are the upgrades prorated? What if they're, well, I mean, they were free, so they haven't started paying anything yet, but as they start to move up in the tiers, upgrades, when do they occur? When does the amount of money change, etc.? So there's all this administrative stuff on the financial side of things that I don't think you want to be trying to handle manually. Anywho, the seeker level is our next. Now, I chose the explorer and the seeker labels because to me, an explorer is someone who's just looking around. A seeker is someone who's looking for something specific. And I think that for someone to move from just looking around to wanting to look for something specific, there's another set of benefits that they would find compelling. And for those benefits, we want to charge. And so the seeker tier offers you the opportunity to create your own unique ChangeWorks profile and expand and polish your skills at interpreting and integrating your personal change grid. So what do they get? They are able to activate their own My Personal Change Grid online account, which provides them with unlimited access for creating and integrating the change grid into their daily life. They can also download the Mastering Personal Change course outline and handouts to help them get the most from the free online training course available on our YouTube channel. Now, at a certain point, we're going to add LearnDash, in which case this program will not just be up for public access on YouTube, but will be behind a authentication kind of portal. You have to sign in. You have to be a paid seeker in order to get to that course. But for right now, we don't have LearnDash yet, so fine. I'll just put it out there because I want them to be able to get started. I don't want them to wait for us to get all this stuff in place. Nevertheless, there's a Mastering Personal Change course that a seeker gets. We then want them to join us for our weekly Seekers Gathering. This is a 60-minute live webinar where you can ask questions, share answers, explore the many ways the Change Grid is helping you. And so they have that. They also get to access the library, the recordings of all the Seekers Gatherings that they've missed. And I'd give them a 50% discount on a private Change Grid reading with me. Plus, they get all the benefits of Tier 1. All right, so the question is for all of you guys, do you believe that there is enough value in that tier that someone might be willing to pay $5 a month or $50 a year if they prefer to just take care of it a year in advance?
I would say
Yes.
yes, but I would also say that it would, I think, depend on whether or not they actually had a change grid reading.
Obvious. This is so true. Thank you so much for bringing it up, David. I think that the easiest way you get someone involved in incorporating the change grid into their life is by making sure they actually have the experience of reading a change grid. And that's why in these videos that I'm putting up for free that help people read the change grids, these pre-map change grids, I also want to let them know that if you really want to know what's going on in your change grid, you want to be able to create your own ChangeWorks profiles. You want to be able to have that experience of doing that. Now, if I'm only asking for $50 for a whole year, I don't know that I want to do free readings for people because it's not free. I've just spent the 50 bucks they might have handed me. But if during those live Oracle of the Self group coaching sessions, I show someone an example of a change grid where all of the activities were developed by the seeker, that might help move it forward as well. Or if I just have a separate video about why you want to have your own ability to create your own ChangeWorks activity lists. Maybe I can leverage that as a replacement for doing individual readings, something like that. Further thoughts about that, David?
Um, well, all I know is in terms of getting people to pay money, they have to have a moving experience.
Right, right.
Yeah, I
And
would agree. There's
It's going to be tough.
well, and hopefully the ones that we're giving them as the pre-mapped ones will begin that process, and hopefully it'll move them into the seeker level. But to me, there's a conversation that needs to be had to this. But again, it's only $5 a month. So how much sales effort do you want to put into a $5 product? That becomes the real question. We have a couple minutes left. Let me
yeah.
at least finish these today. So we also have a practitioner level. The practitioner level are people who've said, well, I want to learn more. I want more deeper dive than Mastering Personal Change would have provided me. So I want to go through the ChangeWorks Essentials course. And then they get all that. They get those handouts. They get to go to a practitioner summit webinar. By the way, keep track now. I'm doing 3 webinars a week. I don't mind. I was in the habit of doing between 5 and 10 webinars every single week and loved it. So I'm okay with all that. But there's also now that's $10 a month, but they're getting more training. So this is where we start to wonder, is the training included for that $5 per month, or do they get a discount for that training? And we haven't decided that all out yet, because frankly, it's a moot point until we have LearnDash up and running or whatever we're using there. But nevertheless, I'm showing this to you guys because I want you to think about, well, maybe you don't want to have 4 layers. You want to have a free one. You want to have a low to moderate cost. Like anyone who's willing to hand you $5, would they be just as likely to hand you 10? Do you get a giant drop off? One of the things we learned watching the videos of this link we sent you guys is that the giant drop off occurs when you ask for any money, period. That's the giant drop off. Once people are of the mindset to be paying something, the drop off at each of these incremental increases is quite small. So there's not a big difference between $5 and $10 a month if they find the material interesting, they find the community valuable, etc. And then Master Practitioner, we put here as coming soon. And you guys can do that as well, because remember, originally the Oracle itself was supposed to be live meetings in people's homes. There's supposed to be a whole community of people who have been trained to be facilitators they're not coaches, but facilitators to oversee all this. So what we wanted for the Master Practitioner level was to say, take your skills beyond self-development into the realm of peer development. And then we were going to give them access to our members only training library of courses, the change grid layer by layer, the comprehensive adjective map, the path of self-discovery. These programs already exist. So I just need to give people a link to them, and then join us for a monthly webinar. It's always on the full moon. And then, download additional materials, learn how to organize and conduct local and virtual explorers gatherings, and build your own local community, develop your skills at facilitating peer level exploration and understanding of the change grid and its countless applications. Plus you get all the benefits of tiers 1, 2, and 3. And we were going to do that for $25 per month or $250 for a whole year. And so that to me would be the highest level we would go at the individual consumer offerings. And even this last one, Master Practitioner, now we're looking at that person who may very well want to transition from being an individual student to being someone who wants to be a little bit more involved in creating communities. But yeah, that's what that one's all for. Thoughts about our 4 consumer level membership tiers?
So each one of these can be like a strategic touch point that underscores what David was talking about in terms of experience. I was just thinking about, like, there used to be in business the 4 P's of marketing, which is all about the product, price, promotion, and place.
Yes.
And now the 4 P's have been replaced with the 4 E's.
Ooh, tell us.
And the first one is all about, the 4 E's is experience, every place, exchange, and evangelism.
Oh,
And so with the 4 E's, the customer experience is the product. So if you strategic by this here, like strategically, the first touch point should lead to more curiosity for the second one in
absolutely.
terms of a seeker. And you just
Absolutely.
keep developing from there.
Right. And that's the whole goal, is to progress people. And by the way, this is very much what happens at our yoga school. Pardon me. So it's amazing how many people have enrolled in what they call the master's path, and they are getting basically certified as instructors in yoga, tai chi, qigong, but they have no intention of ever teaching it to other students. They just wanted the education. um, and so that to me is what the master practitioner level offering is really there for these students who just really want to do a deep, deep dive. And by the way, they're now getting 3 different webinars that they can go to every single week, all kinds of courses, etc. Yeah. So
There's a
now,
book on this, T. It's called The Automatic Customer.
mhm.
And it's about creating a subscription business in any industry.
Yep. I believe
And
there's
he had
opportunity.
9 models.
9 different levels that you would work your
Yeah,
way
well,
through.
he had 9 models, subscription business models in
Oh
that
yeah,
book.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like the software model is different than a community model, or
exactly.
yeah. And so it's absolutely true. And even, I don't know if you guys have tried any of those things where you, even on Amazon, where they put you on auto ship for a product. That's the same model here. That's the same membership
Exactly.
organization. Um, so anywho, now when we get together next Tuesday, and we'll be having two sessions next week and moving forward, it's time to get our year back on track. I want to talk about what we're doing, memberships for coaches, trainers, and other human development professionals, because we do have content and we do have support and all those sorts of things. You guys know this already, built out and in place for the professional end of things. And so you can see how I just scrolled through there. But for all of you, I want to make sure that you're going like, what could I offer to the same kind of customers I already have? Can I create a 2 or 3 tier sort of a membership sort of a thing? And what would I want to provide at each one of those tiers to make it feel like a bargain? Because I'm trying to get the money to add up to whatever that amount of money happens to be. So again, some of it's going to be included. Some of it you might say, well, I want them to be able to purchase that course separately. That's fine, but now you need to have a platform to deliver the courseware as well. I mean, you could just put it up and give them a link, but yeah. Okay. Anything else for now?
Thank you.
Question? You're welcome. You're welcome. So everybody have a wonderful, safe, and happy new year. Stay healthy. Let that be job number 1 for the coming year. And I will talk to you in 2021.
Thank you.
Yes.
Happy
Bye,
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you. Be well.
Take care. Bye.